Okay, back to another live edition of BarrelUp podcast. Let's wait on Daryl to show up. Today we have some exciting content. We have some exciting news. Gabriel, my boy Gabriel Gonzalez, thank you for joining us, my brother, all the way from California. How are you, brother? Just waiting on my partner Daryl to join the live so we can formally start. Everything is good, my brother. Everything is good, man. Waiting for baseball to officially start in the United States. But overall, very, very good. How's Gabe doing? DP, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, all right, all right. My brother.
Yo, how's the Oh, you're a little bit laggy.
A little bit of lag.
Yeah. How's the audio though? Sound good?
Sounds good, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So we're gonna get started in 1 minute. How's everything, bro? How's the pandemic treating you?
You see, bro.
I see. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining today. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Barrel Up Podcast with your host, John Carlos, and my brother, Daryl the Guru. As you can see right there, this is our 20th episode together, quarantine edition. And we are going to talk about some baseball news, some things that are happening throughout the world and the game today. Since we missed the game, we're very big fans of the game. Eddie, mi hermano, un saludo. Daryl, talk to me about what's going on with baseball, bro. Even though we haven't started here in United States of America, the professional league hasn't started. Where has baseball started, brother? I know we've been looking at it.
Yeah. We've been watching the KBO, so it's the Korean Baseball League. South there in Korea, they started playing baseball. They're ahead of us with this whole pandemic situation. They went through the quarantine and all that, and now they're going basically back to what they think is normal, or what's going to be normal for them.
It's always good to hear that in some parts of the world, baseball is being played. And to think about a country like South Korea that is not any way, shape, or form as big as the United States, they found a way to get baseball started. I'm pretty sure that in the United States, the efforts have or are being made so that we can start America's pastime.
Hopefully,
To
yeah.
to add to Daryl's statement, the first game that was played this year in South Korea was the Samsung Lions versus the NC Dinos. I didn't even know Samsung, the company, had a team. I guess they
Uh,
do.
it's Samsung, it's LG. They even got Orange. Orange is the sponsor of DR. They big over there. They even got a
Yeah,
team up.
yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, bro. Um, do you know of any former Major League Baseball players or players that played in United States of America that are still out there playing in South Korea?
Yeah, a bunch actually. I was surprised to see a few names that I recognized immediately. Guys like Tyler Saladino, who was a big part of the Brewers offense 2018, 2019. Guys like Preston Tucker. His little brother Kyle Tucker plays for the Astros. Preston played
Mm-hmm.
for the Astros, was a top prospect for them.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, that I've known for a long time, Mel Rojas Jr., pretty
Mel
big.
Rojas Jr. Definitely. Tucker played like in 2017, right?
He played for the Braves, I believe. He got
Right. So, like I said, it's nice to see they're even airing the games on ESPN. And it's nice to see that we are heading towards the right direction when it comes to live sports. I was tired of seeing old footage of baseball games, old footage of basketball, football.
they're classics and they're good to watch, but I know the outcome, so I know what's up.
Facts, bro, facts. Let's talk about some of the rules that the Korean Baseball League has implemented. I'll give you some and then you chime in on the rest. Some notable rules that they have implemented are the following. Coaches are to wear masks at all times. One. Regular season rules now prohibit players from spitting on the field or near players, even high fives. The most important one that I believe is implemented is that players and coaches are expected to check body temperature before entering the stadium. Do you have any more, or do you want to add some opinions on that, brother?
I think you covered it all. There's other like small things like they can't be in large groups in the dugout, obviously. Well, with the fielding, they're already distant, so that the social distancing doesn't really apply. They're already far enough.
I was gonna say that, man. I was gonna say that baseball as a game, you're not really, as far as in the dugout, you're with a bunch of players, but when you're on the field, you're not really close to other players. Catchers are close to the hitter, I guess, but even on the base path, you take your lead. So by far, I believe that baseball is, in all professional sports, the number one that has to come back the soonest because there's not that much contact. Say that again?
I mean, you got guys guarding each other. They're right there next to each other. Football is a contact sport, so they have to. But baseball, should be the first to come back.
Facts, man. The last but not least rule that they implemented that I think MLB should, I wouldn't say copy, but take seriously, is that if any team member tests positive for COVID, the league will be suspended for a minimum of 3 weeks. What are your thoughts on that?
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I thought that it would be more, they test the team. Whoever tests positive obviously will be removed from the team, and I guess the rest of the team can still play. But to shut down the league for 3 weeks, I think that's probably like the best case scenario they could do, and that's to protect all players and everybody involved in the league.
Do you think that, out there in Korea and other parts of the world, I believe that Korea is the only one streaming live sports or having professional sports, baseball. Do you think that they're getting pay cuts over there, or they're getting their regular salary?
I believe they're getting their regular salary. They don't get paid much to get a pay cut. The thing about those leagues is that they pay international players way more than they do their domestic players. I don't think they're taking pay cuts right now. But another thing too that I realized while I was doing my research is Nepal League one. They started as well. Not only did they start, but they have fans in the stands.
Oh my God, that is uncalled for.
They're segregated into different areas of the stadium. But they also had, I don't know if you've seen videos, but they have mannequins as well to pretend like they're fans. So it's pretty interesting to see that they allowed the fans to come in, but they do check body temperatures as well, and they sanitize everybody as they come in.
This is a joke, what I'm about to say. Of course, the Asian population would come out with mannequins like fans,
Fine.
It's a joke, Daryl. It's a joke. I'm not trying to say, anything in regards to the Asian people. It's just that they're very creative,
Yeah, very, very creative people.
Brother, I want you to formally start what is MLB's plan. I want you to talk about what MLB's plan is to bring baseball back, brother. I'll let you go ahead because you obviously are more informed as far as Major League Baseball.
They're planning to come back July 4th weekend. Starts on a Friday. They're agreed upon an 82-game season, which is half the season, which it would be if they start around that time. It would be. They plan to expand the playoffs to allow more teams to join in. 2 more teams, I believe, or 4 more teams each division. So it'll be 14 teams in total.
14 teams.
They scouted some locations where they could keep players, and right now they Arizona, obviously. There's a lot of spring training complexes with a lot of fields, and Florida and Texas.
Florida and Texas, yeah. I believe that that's the most important aspect of it, that they're gonna have to start over there in Florida and Texas, since there's more fields and the weather is great out there. But
Um,
you did talk about some important things. What were you gonna say? Go ahead.
we're breaking it down to 3 divisions. So it'll
Three
be
divisions.
Central and West. So all the East, AL, and NL East teams will play in the East, and then down the line like that. Central teams play Central, and then West teams play West. And then the big thing about that is that a West team won't play an East team. So it'll be like you know how they do with the World Cup, they do pool play.
Yeah.
So it will be that kind of format where it will be probably like 4 teams from each division come out into a playoff scenario.
So let's break that down a little bit. The whole new idea of the divisions. So basically, in the East Division, you said there was the East.
It was East, Central, and West. So the East
East
division
Central.
was like the Phillies, the Yankees, the Red Sox, Blue Jays, Tampa, all those East teams, NL and AL. Central will be all the
Okay.
AL Central teams. West would be all AL West and NL West teams. So those teams will play each other. So AL and NL West will play just AL and NL West teams.
Are we still talking about planes for travel? Mi hermano Eddie Sanchez, ¿qué es lo que?
I don't believe so. I think we'll be all in a condensed area, like a spring training complex. So in a spring training complex, there's like probably like 4 to 5 different fields. So it will be like 2 morning games and 2 afternoon games, 2 night games. I don't know how they'll break it down, but it will be just like they're trying to limit the travel. They're trying to limit the contact between different teams and all that. So I think it's a really cool plan. I would really like to see that. But as of right now, that's what they're looking at, just to keep everybody in one area for each division.
Right. Another notable fact to talk about is the idea of the universal designated hitter.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Why do you think? Why do you think that came about? Why do you think that came about in this particular time?
Well, right now they're doing an expanded roster, so they're trying to get at least 30 players per team, and a lot of players you have to get more guys in, to get reps, so they won't be cold the whole season. So Universal DH obviously opens up a spot in the lineup for a hitter, and for NL teams like the Dodgers, the Reds, the Nationals, who have a lot of hitters, I think it's great for them. But
I think that's a great, fantastic idea.
Yeah, I think I think they should just keep that.
But but hopefully the changes being made to the game are just for pandemic or emergency purposes, because I wouldn't want to see this going forward.
They said all these changes are just for the 2020 season, just to make sure like they'll have a season.
Yeah. I also in the research that I did, I also saw that they're planning 2 to 3 weeks of spring training starting mid-June. So that will be helpful, because to think about all the players and their daily routines, that, for semi-pro leagues, you can do the routines that they're doing at home. But for Major League Baseball players, especially pitchers that have like a set framework on what to work on, all this time without doing the essential movements and the essential workouts, that's going to take a toll.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's also a positive in all of this. In all this negativity, there's also a positive. You know what that is? Me thinking about it, there's 2 positives for the Red Sox. You saw the Red Sox and the Mets. Both teams have lost their stellar pitchers. Chris Sale underwent Tommy John surgery, and Noah Syndergaard. What do you think about the extra time that they have now to even? I'm pretty sure they already started their rehab little by little. Talk to me about that.
In regards to the Red Sox, guys like Verdugo supposedly out for the first half of the season.
Verdugo.
He's 100% now, so he can't wait to get back on the field. So that's a plus. I think it benefits a lot of teams who have injured players, like the Yankees as well, who had Stanton and Judge out for the first half of the season, Paxton out for the first half of the season. If there is a second half of the season, you'll see those guys, obviously, they'll work their way back into it. They can't just dive right into it and they don't get it again.
Yeah.
But I think it's beneficial for a lot of teams. But I think the season, though, because we need that.
Did you hear what the legend Mariano Rivera had to say about the shortened season?
No, I haven't now.
You're going to hear it now. So Mariano Rivera was literally saying that he doesn't know how a team or a player can call themselves champions with a season shortened of 82 to 100 games. That's a very powerful message right there coming from a legend, and you have to take it into consideration.
I mean, it makes sense, but given the current situation, I mean, that's what they have.
Can't do anything. I understand where he's coming from when it comes from a competitor's point of view. You know, he's worked his butt off to have the rings that he has, to have the numbers of saves that he has. So he's like, okay, maybe he's thinking, okay, so whoever wins this year is going to be out here like we're champions and all that, knowing that they didn't even compete the full year.
Yeah.
So I understand, but given the circumstances, it's out of his hands, my hands, your hands, out of everybody's hands. We just want baseball back. You know what I'm saying? And I think once teams get into the position that they need to be, everything's going to be back. We're actually going to hear the balls being hit a lot harder with the echo. Mm-hmm. The catcher's gloves pounding a little bit more, you know? So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. But just another thing I wanted to talk about. There are some players that are saying, when it comes to Major League Baseball, that they're not willing to take a pay cut. They're not willing to take a pay cut for the longevity of the season. And those players are like Snell. That's the one I know. Snell from the Tampa Bay Rays, that he said, I don't want to take a pay cut. And I found that to be a little bit like selfish, egotistical. What do you think about that? A player that doesn't want to take a pay cut. And we're going to answer your questions in a bit. Jay.
As a fan, you see that. You don't like it. You don't like to hear that. But as a player, it's completely understandable. These guys are really risking a year of their career. They signed a contract, first of all, to play for this amount for each year. And then to take that away just because the season was reduced to half the season, I don't think it's fair. I think it's on the owner's part. But I've seen the video that you're talking about. And he makes a lot of points that he's basically risking his career for less than what he signed for. He's not getting paid the full amount. So what happens if his career ends, God forbid, on 2 games, and then he's no longer, be able to provide, to finish out his contract and provide for his family, basically. And then
that's understandable.
Yeah, for other guys too who probably don't even make a lot to begin with, to get half of their salary, and then not even that. Once you get half the salary, you have to pay the people that you pay regularly. So about 25% of the actual salary that they're actually making. So, and then plus, they're just like normal people that have bills, and their lives are a little bit more lavish than ours, so their bills are a little bit more higher than ours. So
right. You see, that's why I love Darrell's input, because Darrell is fundamentally sound when it comes to baseball, bro. That's a valid point right there. I wouldn't want to have a pay. I don't mind, because I'm a baseball guy, but knowing what you just said, I'm risking my life out there for 82 games, not knowing if we're going to make the playoffs or not. Even though there's going to be an extended offseason. But will we still see Snell on the mound? I think so. I think
there's going to be a provision where players are going to choose to opt out of the season and not get paid. I think a lot of those players will get that provision. They'll opt into that provision. But the thing too is recycling back to what Snell said, that risking his life, their chances of exposure is greater. Going to be in a larger setting with more people. So if they do contract the virus, that's something that it's not like a fever. not like
Yeah.
a seasonal. It's something you have for the rest of your life.
Right.
So
So
to have that,
we had. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
to have that in your body, it's not. I wouldn't want to take that chance either.
We have a fan, Daryl. I'm gonna let you answer this. Um, XXIV.J. What about the input of the DH in the NL? We talked about this earlier, but I'm gonna let you
Yeah, I think
dive
it's
into it with a little more emphasis.
actually. It's something that I've been a fan for. They've been talking about it for a long time now for the new CBA coming up in a couple years. Of implementing DH in the NL. It's exciting to see a pitcher hit a home run, but it will be more exciting when it's like bottom of the ninth and you have actually a DH hitting, a real professional hitter hitting, rather than a pitcher. And it takes away a little bit of the mental side of the game, but still in a strikeout.
You know what I was thinking about as we're, talking about important facts of baseball itself, Major League Baseball, baseball all around the world. Did this pandemic save the Astros? Nobody talks about the Astros and their BS that they did. They're quote unquote saved right now. Nobody talks about their cheating and all. Everybody's focused on this. Do you still think that when we come back, they're gonna get what they deserve, which is hit by pitches? I shouldn't say that, but boos and all that. I think so, man. I think they're not gonna forget.
I mean, they're obviously not going to get booed because there's nobody to stand to boo them. In regards to being hit by pitch, I think it's over with now. It's something that happened in the past. I don't think that players will. There might be some players to retaliate, but I think that's all in the past. But what I do, something that it sucks to not see is that the Nationals won't get to celebrate their championship the correct way.
Yo, that's sad.
They won't get to raise their band in front of thousands of people. They won't get their rings, no ring ceremony. That's one thing.
That's one thing, man. That's one thing and they worked their tail off to get that championship. And I was very, very happy. Remember the episode we did on that regard? Totally, totally happy about that. They still have a great team, and we'll see how they compete this year. It's sad, it's sad to see what's happening, bro. It's freaking out of this world. I don't think that this will ever, I'm not going to say never, but after this scare, after all this that's happened, I don't think we will be seeing any pandemics coming around for a long time. I think we're recovering very well. You know what really broke my heart?
What?
Remember we were talking about next year already, talking about like the World Baseball Classic and how we were planning on doing episodes and all that in stadiums? How that is postponed to 2023.
Yeah, that sucks.
And that brings a lot of changes because we're talking about three more years, or two years and some change. In 2 years and some change, we might not see Nelson Cruz in the game. We might not see Robinson Cano, who were in the line ready to go for 2021. Give me your thoughts, bro.
Obviously, it sucks. You said 2 years and some change. A lot can happen. A lot of players could get hurt, God forbid. A lot of players retire, like Nelson Cruz, you said, Robinson Cano. It sucks that we probably won't get to see them in that time. But overall, I think the World Baseball Classic is a big part of the game, and to not have that, it's another blow.
That's right, man. My boy Randy says, we're not recovering, bro. People just not giving up anymore. That's a valid point. I've seen people just go outside and live their daily lives, But we still have to take care of ourselves, bro. We still have to take care of ourselves. Daryl, do you think that a World Series will be as exciting as it is every year this year?
Nah. See, with that, I actually had a conversation with a couple of my friends the other day. How if these other sports do come back, like the NBA, and they have their finals, those game-winning shots, those late inning heroics, we won't get the same excitement. It won't be the same atmosphere. I think it's part to a big loss of the game is not having the fans.
Right, right. I'm still going back to what we've talked about in this episode. I'm still a little bit amazed as to see how a small country like South Korea, how they were able to find a solution for this before we were. So that gives us no excuse to not come back. We have to come back. We have to come back, and we have to come back in a way where you let the players play for real. Let the players play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, man. No ifs, ands, or buts.
But the biggest holdup in all is the salary. I think if it wasn't about money, I think we would have been back already.
So has the players' union come into an agreement when it comes to salaries or not?
Right now, no. Right now, the proposal is that the salary be cut in half for all the players. So right now, I seen an interesting fact too. If indeed they agree to that deal, the highest paid player will be retired first baseman Prince Fielder. Hasn't played since like 2016.
Get out of here. For real?
It's paid this year.
So Prince Fielder, so who's holding up that contract? Detroit still? They're still.
I believe Texas was the last, if I'm not mistaken. So
Texas.
I think they.
Oh yeah, Texas. That's right. That's right. You know, we're in a bit of a pickle because here we are talking about baseball while baseball's not really going on in the United States. But this goes to show how much we love the game and how much we are trying to keep that feeling and that happiness alive, bro. Alive. And without further ado, I have something that I want to implement today with you just to have some fun. My boy Eddie Sanchez was giving me the idea, and I think we should implement this going forward in different ways. So we used to play a game in Dominican Republic called 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Basically, I know you know about the game. You know, you say 1, 2, 3, bateo primero, 1, 2, 3, hit first. That means I'm hitting, and everybody else has to go into the field. So if I hit the ball and I get out, that means that the first baseman is coming down to hit. I go to right field.
Mm-hmm. And everybody just.
Or I go to left. Or do I go to left field? Which one is it? Left field, right?
Right field.
Right field, correct. And then as people start getting out, you start shifting to center, then all the way back down. So I want you to have that mindset right now. But when I say 1, 2, 3, we're gonna start with right field. When I say 1, 2, 3, you're gonna name your right fielder, the top right fielder in your eyes. I'm gonna name the top right fielder in my eyes, and we're gonna go down the line, right? So you can't think about it. You gotta give me what you got in the time. Okay, so you ready?
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start with right field, right? The best right fielder. 1, 2, 3.
Betts.
Go. Mookie Betts. I got Yelich.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. The best center fielder. 1, 2, 3. Go. I got Mike Trout. Mike Trout for a fact. The best left fielder. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Ronald Acuna.
I got Juan Soto. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the infield. This is where it gets interesting.
Tricky, yeah.
This is where it gets interesting. The best third baseman in the game. 1, 2, 3. Go. Arenado.
Not absolutely.
Arenado. Shit. And we're not saying Machado. We both said Arenado. That's interesting. The best shortstop in the game. 1, 2, 3. Lindor.
Javi Baez.
Yes. Now this is gonna be a tough. It's gonna be. Yeah, facts. This is gonna be a tough one right here. I want to see where your mind is at. The best second baseman in the game. 1, 2, 3. Go. Gleyber Torres. Who?
Altuve.
Damn, I didn't think about that one.
The best.
The best first baseman in the game of baseball, Major League Baseball. 1, 2, 3. Go. Freddie Freeman. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go one. on top of Goldsmith, on top of Rizzo. Are we really nuts? We're nuts, right? For saying it? I don't know. The best catcher in the game. 1, 2, 3, go.
Bermuda.
Contreras.
Contreras?
I like Contreras a lot as a player.
Who's more overall? Who's more well-rounded?
Who? Romuto?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a beast. He's a beast. The best pitcher in the game. 1, 2, 3, go. DeGrom. DeGrom, bro. DeGrom. And whoever wants to contest that, go for it.
Right.
Guy has a live fastball. He changes his off speed like no other. Now, this one is hard right here. The best clutch hitter right now against, we have DeGrom, right, on the mound. The most clutch. I'll give you 10 seconds on that one because that one's hard.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Shit, I'm thinking about it right now, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your player? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic drop.
LeMahieu.
Yo, you got me there. Oh, you got me there.
Hey.
If the Yankees don't take the necessary measures to lock that player up, lo va a coger otro. Somebody else is gonna take him.
Get a contract, definitely.
Facts. Before we go, man, there was something that I was talking about today with my boy Eddie, and it was the Starlin Castro topic. So Starlin Castro, at age 29, has more hits than what Derek Jeter had at age 29, and has more hits than what Adrian Beltre had at 29. Both of those players that I mentioned are 3,000 plus hitters, legends of the game. Do you think that Starlin Castro will reach 3,000 hits? He has 1,600 and some change. At 29, both Jeter and Beltre had 1,500 and some change. He has 1,600. This guy, Starlin Castro, just got a 2-year, $19 million contract to play with Washington. I disagree with that contract. I think he deserves more years. But with the way that the game of baseball is moving, where 33 is an old, quote-unquote, old age. He's 29, by the way. If you're 33, you're considered old.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he'll reach 3,000?
I don't think so.
Why?
Just because the way the game is trending, they're getting younger year by year. And right now, he did sign with the Nationals, but he's not an everyday player for the Nationals. And I think that he's not. Yeah. So I think that further along in his career, he won't get the same opportunities that guys like Jeter and Beltre had, who were everyday players, even in their 40s. So I don't think he'll reach that. I think he'll get another. But to reach 3,000, I think it's gonna be a while till we see those type of.
I'm astonished as to why Starlin Castro is not an everyday player. If you look at his stats in the 8 or 9 years that he has in the game, the guy has put up more than average numbers, almost a 200 hitter per year. His average is always up there. What do you think is the negative aspect on him that doesn't allow him to play every day? Because he doesn't get injured as often either.
I don't think there's a negative aspect towards him as a player. I think it's just the way the game is now with advanced metrics, so the advanced stats. He might have a bad day, or he might have bad stats against one guy when there's another guy that has better stats against that other guy. So I think now the managers are younger, they're smarter, they're using more numbers than their own mind. So I think a lot of platoon situations where they switch out players because this player plays better at this time or against this player. I think that's kind of what's derailing him. If we didn't have that, I think he's an everyday second baseman for a number
I
of
don't
years.
really like the advanced analytics that the game has been implementing, because it's just forcing the game to get younger.
Mm-hmm.
In order for you to stay within the field or get a contract, you have to be a Nelson Cruz. A Nelson Cruz
Basically.
that's 40 years old, hitting 40 bombs each year, and that's not everybody that can do that.
So,
you feel me?
and the thing cool about those type of players, they're phasing out at a younger age. Like you said, they're 30, 29, 30, 33. They're already considered old. They're going to start phasing out, and then we're going to see them in other leagues and other places rather than the major leagues where it will be the best talent. But the game is getting younger year by year, and I think it's going to come to a point in time where there's going to be like the NFL, like the average retiring age at the NFL is like 20, 29 years old.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. I am one of the ones that says get rid of Manfred and his team of analysts that haven't been doing, and this is me speaking, haven't been doing positive thinking for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot go throughout this show without talking about the new rules for the MLB draft. By any chance, bro, if the live shuts down, I'm going to go back on so that we can finish talking about Major League Baseball and the draft situation for this year, 2020, where there used to be, quote me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, 19, 20 rounds.
40.
40 rounds in the 40th round. Yes, you're right. We're cutting that down to 5 rounds. What the hell is happening? Oh, and on top of that, we are talking about, there's, I believe, 160 somewhat teams in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
Within every level, right? Combined together. We're talking about cutting that down to 120. For major changes like these to take place, years of deliberation and analytics have to come into play. This is like flipping a switch. That's what I feel. Let's talk first about the MLB draft.
So it was 40 rounds. They cut it down to 5 rounds. They said that literally for 1,000 amateur players won't get drafted. The reduced round saves owners a lot of money. Saves them about $8 million.
Wow.
Spending. Guys usually get large bonuses in the regular draft. This year, the max they'll get is probably $15 million, which is a $200 million difference from what was spent in the previous years.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that in other sports, teams can sign undrafted players, and they will do that here. Where if you don't get drafted in the first 5 rounds, you can still get signed by a team. But obviously, they won't get the same amount of money they would in their draft slot. And the max signing bonus they can get is $20K. But this is where it gets interesting. I heard that for players who are in high school, college, they're going to opt to stay in school for an extra year and hope they'll get drafted when the draft, stabilizes, go back to normal 40 rounds.
So, so this is just for the pandemic?
I believe
or
it's just for these next 2 to 3 years.
Damn, bro. Damn.
Yeah, but we're gonna see a lot of players opt into staying in school, playing more years in school. The draft is most likely going to be set up for guys like international players, guys who like finished out school, and guys who don't have that second, like that 3 or 4 year option of going back to school. So I think those guys are the ones that are going to have to sign. But even then, they're still taking a giant pay cut.
Where are we headed is my question. Where are we headed? It's a lot to think about. Let's see how this year plays out. The draft is coming up in the next month or so, a month and a half. I personally dislike the change, but I understand it. Hopefully, it doesn't stay forever. Damn, man, the game has changed a lot. The game has changed a lot. Daryl.
Not just the game.
Yep. We're gonna post this on our YouTube page. For those people that couldn't make the, I guess a lot of people couldn't make the live, and that's okay because we're gonna post it. Do you want to give the fans a sneak peek as to who we will be interviewing for the next episode? Just a sneak peek.
I think
You don't have to say the name. Huh?
Hold off on that.
We're going to hold off on that because you guys are going to be amazed as to who will be here in the next episode. Pandemic or no pandemic, Daryl, God willing, will be next to me with his mask and gloves just like I will, because the next interview will be one to die for. With all that being said, my brother, I want to thank you for your time once again. Without you, this show isn't possible. And we're ready for the next episode. We also have after that, we have an international prospect. I didn't tell you about that one because I was confirming. That will also be part of the show. We're spicing it up. We're spicing it up. Any last words, Daryl?
No, just everybody be safe. Make sure you wear your mask, gloves, all that. And God bless.
Guys, thank you guys for everything today. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, BarrelUp Podcast. Follow our page on Instagram, BarrelUp Baseball, BarrelUp_baseball for training lessons, for daily videos that we do, all that stuff. And today, just to recap, today we talked about one of the few countries that is playing professional baseball, which is South Korea, Taiwan as well. We talked about the plans that Major League Baseball has in place to bring the game back. We also talked about the World Baseball Classic being postponed. We talked about the new rules for the draft, the MLB draft. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. For any questions, just hit us up